Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how to be happy and single and how to own it and just thrive and build a life and empire for yourself. So if that is something that interests you, or you're just bored and want to watch my video, all you have to do is keep on watching. I just feel like in life it's so easy for people to push their expectations and their kind of insecurities on us. I feel like we're taught growing up that you have to like go to high school, graduate, get a good job, go to a 4-year university, get married, start your life, and like nowhere in between does anybody say be happy. Nowhere in between does anybody say discover yourself. Take time to find out what your passion is, what you like to do, what you were brought here to do on this earth. Everyone just kind of pushes that old-fashioned 4-step process, which is go to school, graduate, go to a 4-year college, get married, then of course buy a house, have kids, etc. And what I'm discovering with my journey here on earth is that life is not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. Everybody has different paths, everybody has different journeys, and that's for a reason. It's specifically geared, manifested, and made for you. So maybe right now you're kind of like me, you see everybody that you went to high school with graduating from grad school and getting their masters and getting married and having a house and having like, you know, getting pregnant and having children and having like a dog and a white picket fence, and maybe you're stuck, you know, maybe living at your parents' house and you don't really know what you want to do yet. You don't really know if you want kids or not. You don't know what you want to do in life. I'm here to tell you that no matter what age you're at, whether it's 25, 45, or 65, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's never too late to start. For some reason, I feel like when we go to like events or holiday parties with family or just family gatherings, let me put it at that, they'll be like, oh, so like, are you seeing somebody? And you're like, no, I'm single. And it's like, what's wrong with you? It's like we have a disease or something that somebody is going to catch, or like we're freaking contagious. And the thing that people don't realize is that being single, if you have the luxury of being single right now, I'm here to tell you that you are very lucky. You are placed in this season for a reason, and it's going to be the best time of your life. And here's why. You are okay as you are right now. You have everything that you need internally to navigate yourself through this life. You don't need anything external, because everything external is temporary. We are even temporary. However, you have everything you need within you to become happy. And during your season of singleness is when you need to find what it is that makes you happy. What's your drive? What's your passion? What do you wake up in the morning just like looking to do, itching to do? Whether it be a career or a hobby or just something that makes you jump out of your bones, that's what you are supposed to find during your season of singleness. Self-discovery is so important, and I feel like that's not really taught in school. It's something that you get taught through experience and life, and maybe the people around you, like your family or something like that. But I feel like within school we're only taught fundamental things for knowledge when it comes to academics. We're not really taught basic life skills, and we're definitely not taught self-discovery. 50% of marriages in America end up in divorce. And the reason for that is because people do not discover who they are during their season of singleness. There's a video by Mike Todd. He is a pastor and I absolutely love him. And he has a whole series on this. And it's called, I think the video is called Single Not Alone. And I'm going to put it in the description box down below if you are somebody who kind of needs a good kick in your butt to realize that you don't need somebody in your life right now, and that having somebody is like an addition, not a completion to your happiness. This is a great video with a lot of information, and not only information but facts to back it up. And he taught me that over 50% of marriages in America end up in divorce. Now, why is that? You know, we go through school, we get married, we get jobs, whatever, all of that is figured out. But at the end of the day, if you do not take the time to get to know yourself, to discover your likes, your dislikes, your passion, what you want to do in this life, but not only that, what you want to do with yourself. Like, I feel like when we're given a list of what is important to us, you know, for me it would be like my kids, my house, my family. When do we put ourselves on that list? Because we should be first. Because here's the thing. In a list of things that you have to do in your life, whether you have kids, you have a family, you have a job, etc. We all have those things, right? You are here and all those things are below. Here's the reason why. If you have a cup, right? If I have this cup right here and it's completely empty, there's no coffee in this cup. If I pour from it, it's going to be empty, right? The same metaphor applies to your life. If you do not fill yourself up first with joy and happiness and experience and abundance, you are going to be pouring into your job, into your family, into your kids, into your love life empty. Nothing is going to be contributing to those factors because you yourself are empty. You cannot run on E. If a car runs out of gas, you're on the side of the road and you need someone to come and help you. The same thing happens with us. We let ourselves run on E because we're so pressured by society to always be doing something or to always be with somebody, right? So for example, like I just said, if you go to a family gathering, you often find that if you say you're single, people think something's wrong with you. Or like, the number one thing that I get from guys if I meet them is like, how are you single? Why are you single? Because I'm at a point where I have been on this journey to self-discovery for quite some time, to the point where I now know what I want in somebody. I want them to be aligned with me and my purpose, and to contribute happiness, to contribute loyalty, to contribute knowledge, because I believe that knowledge is power in everything, including relationships. So because I have raised myself to that standard, I'm not just going to let anybody come in and hinder my growth. If someone's going to come into my life and it aligns with me, that's great. If not, I'm okay being by myself. People don't get to know who they are during their season of singleness, and this is why a lot of relationships end up failing, marriages end up falling apart, because it's like, you don't know you, but you expect your partner to know you. And you don't really get to know who you are before you get married or before you get into a relationship. So when you're in the honeymoon phase, everything's great. But when everything comes down to a boiling point, maybe you lose a job or you lose a car, or you guys can't pay bills that week or something like that, because it's life and things happen, you really get to find out who that person is and their true colors. And here's the thing, if you're relying on an outside source, outside of you for happiness, it's never going to work out, because happiness has to come from you first. When that person can no longer give you the happiness that you had in the beginning because you were in the honeymoon phase and everything was great, when life happens and circumstances are not that great, that person can no longer give you 24/7 happiness. You know, they have emotions too. They have feelings too. They have days where they're down. There's days where you're going to be at 80%. They're going to be at 20. It just happens. It's life. But because they cannot create that happiness or give it to you, you are going to feel unhappy and unfulfilled. And you're going to be like, why isn't this person making me as happy as they used to be? Well, because you weren't making yourself happy first. I hope that makes sense. We rely on outside circumstances and people to fulfill us when we need to fulfill ourselves first, which is why it's so important, if you are single right now, to take advantage of this time. Go out to eat by yourself, go to the movies by yourself, try new things, try yoga or hiking or karaoke night, or like something that's fun for you, that's going to be something that's not in your normal routine, because this is where you're going to meet people that align with you. If you are surrounded by people right now who have no goals, no ambition, no drive, that's where you are going to stay stuck. You are like the 3 people that you hang out with the most. It's scientifically proven, look it up. And you are going to emulate the behavior from the people around you. So if you're not surrounded by people who are positive and uplifting and, you know, go-getters and goal-driven, and you have goals that you want to fulfill, you're going to only have as much of a level of success as they are, because that's who you're surrounding yourself with. If you want different, you have to do different. You can't just sit home every single night wondering when an opportunity is going to fall in your lap, or when this amazing person is going to come into your life that God wants you to be with. No, you have to go out and you have to put yourself in social settings, in groups, in situations that you want to be in the future. Like, for example, if you want somebody that is into personal development and personal growth, you need to go to these meetings that they have about teaching personal development and personal growth, or like book groups or something like that, where they're going to be talking about this stuff, because you are going to be aligned and around the people like that, right? You can't sit there and do the same things and be around the same people and just live the same life. You're not making any connections, new connections in your brain or new connections in your life in order to live a different one. You can't do the same things expecting a different outcome. Until you discover who you are and, you know, what you were brought here to do and just get to know yourself, you are not going to find happiness in outside people, outside things. No material object or piece of home decor or Apple Watch or anything like that is ever going to spark such a joy in you to the point where if you were to leave this earth tomorrow, you could say, I lived a great life. Nothing will do that for you but yourself, because you are in charge of your own experience here. You are in charge of your own life. You can only get as much happiness as you want to allow. And the problem is that a lot of us think that we're not deserving of happiness, whether it be from childhood trauma or just past relationships or programming in our minds to make us believe that when something good happens, that something horrible is going to happen after. And I am somebody who was like that. And I'm slowly learning to not be like that anymore. When good things happen, I'll have these intrusive thoughts like, oh my God, what if my car breaks down tomorrow? Or like, wait, I'm happy. Like, what's wrong here? Like, something's not right. Like, I'm too happy. Like, something's going to go wrong. And what happens is that you get the thoughts and energy that you put out there. So if you're thinking, I'm so happy right now, everything's going great, but oh my God, this relationship is just too good to be true, or like something bad is going to happen. When you are looking for something wrong in somebody, you're going to find it. When you're purposely looking to see when they're going to screw up, they're going to screw up, because our thoughts and actions are so powerful. Manifestation is within every single thing that we do every day, because it all starts with us, and then when we have action to back it up, it becomes a reality. So when you're thinking that somebody's going to do you wrong and then you start acting a certain way to see if they will, they probably will, because that's what you're manifesting into your life. And until you learn in your season of singleness to not do that anymore, it's going to be very hard for you to find somebody. So what I'm learning to do, and I suggest for you guys to do, is to just ride life like waves, right? So my therapist kind of taught me this. If a wave is coming and you just stand there, you're going to get knocked over. But if you jump over the wave or dive under the wave or find a way to just ride with the wave so that everything stays in a good motion and you don't fall flat on your ass, you're going to be fine. You're going to be living, you're going to be surviving, breathing, everything is going to be good. So in life, when something really good happens to you, don't sit there and think, oh my goodness, something great happened, but now something horrible is going to happen. Because if you do that, you're never truly going to find your happiness within life and be in the moment and be present. Self-discovery is such a beautiful thing too, because you start to find out qualities about yourself that you never knew before. Maybe you've never cooked, but now you're by yourself, so you have no choice. You learn a couple recipes and that makes you want to grow and expand and go on Pinterest more and find, you know, more culinary skills. Maybe you really start to dive into cooking when you never knew that you liked cooking. Or maybe you see people taking a yoga class and that's something that you could never do with the person that you were previously with. So because you're by yourself and you're able to do those things now, you can go take a class and possibly find that you want to be a yoga teacher. Those are just like little examples of how being single causes you to kind of spark this change of like, I want to try new things. And then within trying new things, you have this deep connection with yourself because you've pushed yourself out of your comfort zone and you've now found something that you really like to do. A really important thing, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about, is you cannot seek a quality that you do not attain. You can't say that you want a woman who is self-sufficient, independent, has her own X, Y, and Z when you can't even boil a pot of water. You don't know how to make at least 1 to 2 meals for yourself. You have never had to pay bills. You have never had to clean for yourself. Things like that. You cannot seek qualities in somebody that you don't have yourself. And people these days want the best. They say, oh, I want the best of the best. I deserve the best. I want, you know, my perfect woman or my perfect man has X, Y, and Z. But you don't have those qualities yourself. How can you seek those in somebody else? Like attracts like. If you want somebody who's independent, who's good with money, who's good with budgeting, has their own life, has built, you know, this empire around them, that needs to start with you. You need to have those qualities first, and then you can attract those qualities into somebody else. And of course, there's things that other people can give us that we can't do for ourselves. But if you're seeking like certain qualities in somebody, you need to have those qualities first, because how can you seek those in somebody else but not practice those on a daily? You need to have your own things, have your own life, create your own happiness. That way, when the right person does come along, they're just an addition to your happiness. It's like the icing on the cake. You don't have to sit there and wonder If this person leaves me, am I going to feel incomplete? If this person leaves me, is my life going to be in shambles because I've relied on them so much for my happiness that without them, I don't have an identity. You always want to keep your identity and your relationship separated. You should never find your identity in a relationship. That should be established first. And then when you are with somebody, you have that identity. You've taken the season of singleness, and you've been able to self-discover and personally develop yourself and expand it and grow and nourish your mind. The thing that people don't understand is what if you're single and you want somebody, right? You want to attract somebody in your life, that's great. What are you doing? Ask yourself that question. What are you doing? What are you doing to nourish your body and mind? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you learning in order to expand your human consciousness? What are you doing about your past childhood traumas so you can heal from them and not bleed on people who didn't cut you? What are you doing to discover yourself and your life's purpose so you don't rely on somebody else to do that for you? What are you doing every single day to wake up and be the best version of yourself? How are you talking to yourself? Are you still talking to yourself and saying that you're stupid because growing up you heard your parents talking like that? What are you doing to change yourself in order to attract somebody better? Because obviously whatever you were doing in the past is not working. And so until you learn this, nobody's ever going to be good enough. Nobody's ever going to be able to rise to the standard that you want them to, because you're not even at that standard. You haven't even rose up to your own expectations. So you can't push those expectations onto people that they're not even aware of. Until you learn this and you discover yourself, you are just going to develop very unhealthy codependency mechanisms and skills, and you are going to not only drain other people, but you are going to expect them to build a life for you that you should have been building yourself and utilizing during your season of singleness. So if you are single right now and you're wondering why you're not with somebody, or somebody makes you feel like you have some type of disease or something's wrong with you because you're alone, just know that people are always going to push their insecurities onto you. There's a lot of people in here in broken relationships and broken marriages that are just staying together because socially they want to look good and look like they have the perfect little family. In all actuality, nobody's perfect. Even the best families out here in the world still have their issues. It's life. It is what it is. But don't let other people's insecurities and negative connotations be pushed onto you. Don't ever allow that, because what somebody thinks of you is actually what they think of themselves. And if you are single right now and you are happy, don't let anybody make you feel like you need to be with somebody in order to be happier. Because here's the thing, no matter where you're at in life right now, no matter what your weight is, the color of your skin, your social or economic stature, you are enough. You are enough. You may have goals that you want to do. You may want to lose 20 pounds or gain 20 pounds, or you may want to move to a new country. You may want to have a new career, but those things aren't going to make you enough. You yourself first and foremost are enough, and those are just additions into your life, accomplishments, but you yourself right here are enough, and you have everything within you to make a life that you are proud of and that you love, so utilize it. That's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. Also, turn your post notifications on by hitting that bell in the corner, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.